start the Louisville press conference from Game 6 of the NCAA Nashville Regional with the regional champions. Student athletes on your left, Eddie King Jr. On your right, Ethan Eberle. And in the middle, head coach Dan McDonnell. Coach, if you would first an opening statement, please.
Yes, a lot of people to thank, obviously, and congratulate. First Wright State making it to a regional championship is a great accomplishment, and I think I said it. They seem to be a regular in the NCAA, so they have a phenomenal program. For East Tennessee State, who we had to beat, and in a really tough opening game. I spent 12 years in the Southern Conference, so for anybody who doesn't believe those mid-majors deserve to be in the NCAAs, I don't care if it's basketball or baseball, you're crazy. I mean, those kids are really good. They work really hard, and the only way they get in usually is they got a dog pile in a conference tournament. So I know what that's like, and the pressure to get to the NCAAs, and want to congratulate them. And then, of course, Vanderbilt. We've been there before. You have an unbelievable regular season, just unbelievable, and obviously the best team in college baseball the last month. And to have your season come up short, and it's college baseball. It's just part of it. I know it hurts for them, but like I said, we've been there. We kind of know what that feeling's like. So I don't want to take anything away from the great regular season they had. So. Congrats to the three programs, and obviously super proud of this group, these guys sitting up here, and our team because of what we've been through this year. It's fun to be in this spot right now. So very happy, very excited, and let's let these guys who did it between the lines, let's give them a chance to talk.
Questions for the student athletes?
Ethan, a freshman with an opportunity to close out a regional sweep. What was the mindset today as you guys were awaiting this start?
Just staying humble and hungry. That's kind of what our job is, and especially coming in as freshmen. We knew what our job was, is to get this program back to a regional. And that's just what we preached, and we just stayed ready. And I'm really proud of our freshman guys, all the arms, all the guys who didn't even travel. I'm just really proud of them and just how far we've come, because we're a bunch of studs, I believe that.
Or dudes, we call them dudes.
Ethan, did it feel like kind of the momentum of the season was building up to this moment, especially for you, given the progression, the work you put in?
Yeah, I mean, it got easier as it went on. First starting against Boston College, I was a pretty nervous kid as a freshman. But throughout the year, it just got easier and easier. And tonight is probably the easiest it's been. Haven't been in a regional before, but being able to pitch in one as a freshman was exciting, and no nerves, just pounding the strike zone. That's all you gotta do.
Eddie, when you come back to school, I'm sure moments like this are kind of what you were dreaming of, and part of the reason, to want to come back here and want to be part of this group and be a leader of this group. Can you just talk a little bit about maybe even a little bit of that decision, and just kind of how this year played out for you, and with some highs and some lows a little bit with some injury, and just how you're able to overcome it and what it feels like now?
Yeah, so I mean, it's just the draft didn't work out for me, so I instantly knew I wanted to come back here, and I texted coach. I said, Omaha it is. I remember, so that's a goal. That's a big goal of ours, but we always said we wanted to be ACC tournament champions. So that was the start. Then obviously, you got the regional, so that's the first step. But now we're going on to the super, so that's the next big step that we have to focus on. But yeah, it's been an honor playing with this group. So I have no regrets on my decision, and I'm honestly happy I did come back, because I had never been to the playoffs playing college baseball. So it's a good feeling.
Kind of on that note, what's it like to get that third out and everybody rushes out for the dog pile?
Wait, can you repeat that?
On that note, when you see the third out, what's it like running out there to dog pile this?
It's a special feeling. I mean, I've never felt it before, like I said earlier, but job's not done. That's what we already been saying that. Kamayu, he never lets us, he never stops saying things like that. But Yeah, it's a special moment. I'm glad the fans got to witness it, our parents, and yeah, it's just really special for us.
And if you weren't playing loose enough all weekend long, it was a lot of energy. It felt like your 2-run double like really got things going. You know, like just tell me how like that moment felt, not just for you, but for all your teammates that have that big first inning and you know kind of get that monkey off your back.
I think it was just a really good start to the game. Just getting those 2 runs going, throwing the first punch. But obviously, we know we had to keep scoring. You know, Wright State, that's a really good team that they have over there. So it was just a really cool moment for me and getting that big hit for us. But I just wanted to stay calm in the moment and just put my head down because I knew I had more at bats coming and more work to do.
Ethan, it seemed like you pushed the lights up there for a second. I mean, at what point do you kind of feel like you were in your groove or kind of settled in where the momentum was building?
I feel like I was in my groove from the get-go. Usually, sometimes the first inning gets me, or maybe there's a runner on almost every inning. That's what's felt like my last few starts. But from the get-go, I just felt really dialed in. 4th, 5th inning, felt really good.
How, for most of the night, you seem to really have great command of especially some secondary stuff, and the Wright State coach alluded to it in his press conference. Is that kind of the way you felt, and you were able to kind of keep them off balance in that way?
Yeah, Coach Williams talked about it from the get-go before the game, saying that we're going to start them off with soft breaking balls to start, and then busted it like in on their hands to Boston Smith, who's had a home run every game. So that was just a game plan, and just knowing that I had to command that well tonight was my job.
Questions for Coach?
Hey, Coach, all weekend long you've been talking about the importance of family, and now you're going to your 10th Super Regional. When you think about all the things that made your program successful, is it easy to say that family is number one?
Oh yeah, I got my wife Julie, my older son Jake sitting here. I got my brother Mike and his daughter, my niece Jillian, who flew in for this. I mean, the postseason, as Julie and I were hugging in the outfield there, she was congratulating me. It's just, I'm not here without her, and this is a family thing. It's what we've been preaching to these guys. Like, just as I shared, I showed them pictures of what parents look like when a team is dogpiling. We just happen to have some really good pictures. And I said something in the 8th. I don't ever say get ahead of myself, but I walked over to Assad and I said, hey man, you know what pictures we've been showing our kids all week, so I hope you get some of those angles, where they can see the team dogpiling, but really focus in on the parents, because we talk about attitude of gratitude a lot, and these guys are not sitting here if it's not for their parents. And as parents, we know the stress that we have and the anxiety, and so I'm well aware of the stress and anxiety parents go through in watching their sons play. So just very happy for obviously these guys, and yes, as you talk about, family's a big part of this.
Just kind of going off of that, Darren, with the success of the program, but how the past couple years have gone, is a little bit of a relief to not only get to the postseason but also get to the Supers.
Yeah, we're super competitive. Eddie was hurt his freshman year, so he doesn't get to experience an ACC championship, a regional championship, and we lose 2 one-run games at A&M. And so, the last couple years are tough. And so, as I often say, sometimes when you lose, you really win. And so for a guy who thought he lost because he didn't get drafted, you're sitting up here, you just dogpiled, you just won a regional, memories for a lifetime. Like, this guy's leaving his legacy here. So just so happy for these guys. I mean, just really super proud of them. And but as they know, we're very competitive. We hate losing. And so, we're going to celebrate and enjoy this one with family and friends tonight. But like Eddie alluded to, and what Kamayu's saying, we'll get back to business, and we'll be hopefully super competitive next weekend.
Dan, after yesterday's game, you said that Roger Williams has done a phenomenal job to this point. You look at the starts that you guys have had and then the work out of the bullpen. Now that you got a sweep of this regional, thoughts on pitching performance?
Yeah, we've always said, Roger's one of the best pitching coaches in the country, and it's no secret the last couple of years just been tough. And it's not that he's not working hard, and obviously, man, I was so proud of him. We talked about transformation this summer, and when I'm talking to coaches or I'm talking to players, lots of times I'm talking to myself. So if I'm asking them to do something, I'm asking myself to do it, and it was great to see that transformation. But it's a long year, and there's frustrating moments, but man, to get this pitching staff to do what it did, he deserves a lot of credit. I know these guys love him. He loves those pitchers and the whole staff, the pitching staff, but also Mike Holman does a lot behind the scenes. He's got Jalen and Will and Cam Robinson. Like, we got a lot of guys that are pouring in to that pitching staff, and I think they all deserve some credit.
Coach, a lot of talk all season long about the leadership of this group and the closeness and the tightness of these kids. Can you just expand upon that and maybe just a little bit what that's meant and how that has helped them get to this moment?
I think player-driven, as coaches, we don't ever want to take a pass and act like it's not our responsibility. I always feel accountable through the good and the bad times. But when you have a player-driven team, the power that has, way more. They have to want to win more than I want to win. They have to hold each other accountable more than I hold them accountable. And as he talked about Kamayu, guy that showed up in August as a fifth-year senior, and the leadership that he brought. And I'm sure these guys, as Eddie's a captain, he brought better out of Eddie. And young Zion's a captain, to have a sophomore as a captain, how much Zion was able to grow this year, of course, with Matt Klein and Tucker Bivens. So, but it's not just the captains. They have the title with the C on their chest, but you don't have to be a captain to be a leader. And so these guys deserve the credit, man. I'm on the ride. I'm on the journey. I'm just thankful to be a part of it because my wife will tell you I'm not easy to deal with when we're losing, and the last couple of years were rough. I mean, they were. And I hate to get emotional, but these guys have made it special. I mean, really fun in the fall. Even fun through there were some tough times. We went through some real tough times this year. But I just kept pouring into them like, guys, it's part of it. It's how you grow, and we definitely grew. And I'll pull this poem out. I read it when I had a chance to, what an honor, speak at the FCA breakfast at the ABCA in Washington. And I saw it in a sermon, and it's called The Path to Higher Life by Andrew Murray. Down, lower down. Just as water always seeks and fills the lowest place, so the moment God finds men abased and empty, His glory and power flow in to exalt and to bless. And abase means to humble. God is going to be with us in the valley, but we must seek Him, we must love Him, and we must trust Him. And I was in the valley. And my wife, Julie, she pulled me out of the valley. But we did it with Jesus. And we did it with our relationship with God and in our hearts. And it started with Julie and my commitment to my faith this fall and winter. But again, I'm sitting up here because super players, man. These guys were so much fun to coach, and they deserve the credit. They deserve the leadership, and so anything I can do to glorify them, I hope I continue to do it and make it clear.
You you guys go 3-0 in games that seem like you've had a command in all of them, do you feel like you guys are playing your best baseball right now? And if not, what does that ceiling look like?
Well, yeah, I think we're playing our best baseball. I think, we're not 100% healthy, but we've got basically the lineup we started the year with. I apologize to some of the position players that didn't get to play this weekend because we played 9 guys for 3 games, and that's not how the year went. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for those 3 young catchers that stepped up. Hot and Shiver and Nate in the infield and Lippy in the outfield, and so we had guys step up this year, and I thought it was going to make us a better club when everybody was back and everybody was healthy. So, but what I like I said, we're tested. We don't need the stars to line up for us to have success. We can handle the blows. We've been knocked to the mat. We like to use our boxing analogies when you come from the same city as Muhammad Ali, and we often talk about getting knocked down on the mat, but man, this team always got up. We got knocked down on the mat more than we wanted to this year, but I give them a lot of credit, and they got off the mat, and that's as we say in coaches, we're trying to prepare these guys for life, and that's life. As I share some of the struggles that I've been through, and just personally, and man, you're going to go through tough times. So when I'm on a sports radio show or somebody who watches this press conference, I hope we bring some hope, and optimism to people that are struggling, because it's a part of life. We go through it. Everybody goes through storms, but you don't have to do it by yourself. And if you're a spiritual person, that's the blessing of having Jesus in your heart. So thankfully, I didn't have to do it by myself. Encourage others. You don't have to do it by yourself. And look forward to getting back and just continue to pour into these guys.
You guys have to wait till Monday night to find out who you're going to play. What's the upcoming schedule for you guys as you guys wait for the Super?
Well, I told them we'd get back and enjoy time with family and friends, and we'll set the itinerary to get on the road sometime late tomorrow morning, but tell them where we're going to stop on the way home.
Buc-ee's.
I'm a big fan, and as we drove by it on the way down, I said, hey guys, let's put together a good weekend, man. Coach Mundorf will be treating us to Buc-ee's on the way back, so the bus is definitely pulling in there tomorrow. And Coach Williams already talking about pitchers that need to throw, guys that didn't throw. I don't know if we'll get them on the mound tomorrow, but Tuesday the latest, and but at least we'll know, I guess, after tomorrow or tomorrow night's game, if we're at Jim Patterson Stadium, which would be awesome for our fans. But if we have to go down to Hattiesburg, I coached at Ole Miss for 6 years, so I can't say they were real nice to me when I was down there at Hattiesburg, but it is a fun place to play, and kind of fitting that my first game as a head coach was down there in Hattiesburg in a tournament, and but I'm an ACC fan, and so I'd be lying if I said I wasn't rooting for Miami and Chris Dominguez, whether they were coming to Jim Patterson Stadium or not.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, last but not least, thank you, Pete and Megan. I know it's a lot of work and it's a big commitment, and appreciate your professionalism and all your time that you spent at the ballpark. Thanks for everything.